Don't let the Sunshine State fool you. Endless summer is just a pipe dream for some, and for others thinking about or in the process of moving to Florida, you might just end up regretting it. In 2022, Florida was the fastest growing state according to U.S. Census Bureau reports, and the state's population has been increasing for decades. But some people who moved here have begun to regret their decision. But why is that? So we are exploring a new location today.
We are.
Whale's Tail.
Whale's Tail, which is hard to say. You sound real country when you say it, Whale's Tail. Or at least I do. The beach is really pretty today, though.
Beach is pretty, lots of umbrellas, lots of people, but still lots of parking available.
And open space.
Interesting. But there's a problem. And the problem is their problem.
I was about to say.
As they said that their internet is down and they are unable to run transactions unless they're cash. Which is probably why this place isn't very busy.
I was about to say the same thing. How does that work starting in July?
Fed Now? I mean, there'll still be cash, but Fed Now starts in July.
Yeah.
But when your customers, well, that's the thing, they're not prepared for a cash situation, that's one thing. And if your only system is digital, then that's another thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, whatever outage they have isn't going to compensate them for the loss that they're going to experience because they're unable to process credit card transactions. It's unfortunate. It's also unfortunate that their beer selection here, it sucks.
Yes, microscopic.
Yeah, it's terrible. But odds are it's perfectly fine for this location. Again, I said we're exploring a new area, and I was actually going to say that was one of the reasons why Buffalo Jack's kind of doesn't do it for me, despite their wings being so good, is they don't have a beer that I like.
I bet money, though, if we were go in there and say to that waitress who remembers us every single time, remembers orders, if I said, listen, can he bring his own beer in? She'd be like, sure, go ahead, don't care. Because we spend money in there, and we're locals, and we go often, and we tip well.
You know, it's like, you go to restaurants, you can bring your own wine, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a cork fee.
Yeah.
But I want draft beer.
Yeah, that's true.
I can get a can at home.
That's true. have enough money to come here, but you can't decide if you have enough cash to get one thing. Do you get something to drink and chill and hang out or whatever? Do you get one appetizer for everybody to share? Does one person eat and the others don't? Like,
I guess one of the other drawbacks is they don't have an ATM.
there's that part too.
They don't have
no
their,
ATMs
they don't
around
have their
here.
own backup.
Yeah. I wonder. I bet there's options though. I bet you could Cash App your server,
Maybe. Do they have cash to pay your tab?
because that would be the kicker at the end if they have cash to pay your tab. Because, you know. Ooh, thank you. Oh, mine's like electric. Thank you. I expected it to be blue or green because it says mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really bright. Yeah,
Well, they've been changing the colors of mermaids here recently, so.
that's true. This is really good.
So, are you ready for other food now?
We're just gonna.
Since it's cash, I think we're only doing drinks.
Yes,
Is that?
but no
We'll still
problem.
tip you well. I promise. That way we're not wasting your
No
table.
problem. And do you want to take away the menu?
You can have them. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to say something quickly. I like the fact that the smile did not leave her face when I said I wasn't going to order food, because the more you order, in theory, the more tips she makes. But the fact that we sat down anyway when it's cash only says something, I guess.
All right, this is tasty.
Okay, I was hoping that one was mine. Let's see.
The rum runner's always red.
Try it. It's actually really good. Coconut rum, melon liqueur, as you pour it on you.
It is pretty good. Mine's better.
I know, I like rum runners, but I was thinking it was going to come out frozen. So I was expecting you to trade with me once it came out. A hurricane's the frozen one. That's what it is. No, it's called?
I think you can get a hurricane. It's not.
I never remember.
I don't know.
I don't know, this bright yellow color's throwing me off, but it's really good. He's bringing them in. So I wonder what that's for. The guy on the jet ski?
Now, I was actually talking about how some people have decided to move and leave the state of Florida because there's no employment opportunities. But at least in the summer, there are.
Yeah.
I'm sure that these folks would, love as much help as they can possibly get with this work on the beach. But even in the off season, they're still out here, right?
Yeah, they're still out there in the
Because you
off-season.
would walk the beach and
Yeah.
you would be out recording and you'd come across the guy and you'd be like, hey, can I just borrow a chair for like 15 minutes?
Until I had to pick the kid up from school. And he'd be like, yeah, here.
So I think it's all depending upon your job, wants, needs, skill set, as well as in regards to the employment opportunities that are available.
So what are the buoy thingies that the guy on the jet ski's pulling in? Because remember yesterday, or the day before, I was like, how come there's buoys in like these two places and then nothing else? Maybe that's their sign to slow down the jet skis for the rental people. Like, you can't punch it till you get past these, and you have to slow it down when you get back to these.
Maybe. Probably something to do with jet skis.
Yeah. Boy, you have to tip to everybody else.
It's a good thing I went and got more cash the other day.
Don't keep it all in the bank.
Well, you just never know, especially here.
So no extra fees on this one. It's just the products and then the tax and the total. Nothing else.
And it was
31. Do you want change?
It's going to be a struggle for her today.
Yeah. Yeah. She's really nice. I forgot how to walk.
Well, when we're done recording, we'll go eat.
Look, She got the pizza slice.
She got a slice of pizza?
Slice of pizza.
Pizza.
I'd be terrified to use that in the water.
It's
Fishy coming right at you.
pizza, lasagna.
Wait, I don't remember how it goes. Which way are we going?
Gonna go this way.
Okay. Very confused.
We'll go this way, and I'll record this way because there's been a unanimous request. Not unanimous. I think it's weighted towards ocean.
Because you can see buildings anywhere, but you can't see the ocean everywhere.
I think it's weighted towards ocean.
I agree.
Crashing waves, electric blue is what you called it, described it today.
Yes, it's so pretty.
Which,
and it's see-through. Like it's so clear, it's ridiculous. And everybody's like, you can't get that unless you go to the Caribbean. Incorrect. You can get it in Florida.
You can see the wildlife, fish, turtles, stingray, bear,
jellyfish, bear, cheeseburger.
But let's go ahead and just run down the list.
Okay.
How did we get here? Why are we here? When did we get here?
How did we get here? Why are we here? When did we get here? Okay, how we got here is because you're amazing. So is the kid. So during C-19, if you will, and everybody's stuck inside and there's nothing to do, no places are open, it kind of sucked being homebound all the time, if you will. In Georgia, there wasn't really much for us to do. There wasn't really any outdoor activities. We had 5 acres, a little over 5 acres of land, but it was all trees and, you know, mosquitoes and spiders and whatnots. Wasn't really much to do, no pool, none of that kind of stuff. And Florida was still open, so we came down here for Thanksgiving and loved it, and decided to come back for Christmas and loved it, and then decided that maybe moving here would be kind of cool when our daughter went into 7th grade, because nothing really big happens in 7th grade. For those of you who have kids, 6th grade is you're a middle schooler, 8th grade is you're almost in high school, 7th grade is that weird middle child kind of thing. It doesn't really do much. So she said she'd like to go to the beach for a year, see what it's like, even though she hates the sand, she hates salt water, but she loves her mama, and I love the beach. So we decided to sell the house at the height of the house selling, and move from...
I'd say we were at the height of over ask cash offers.
Yeah.
Decent interest rates, and, you know, few days on the market.
Yeah.
Whereas today you could probably still pull it. It just would have took a little bit more time.
Yeah, we got an offer within a couple days, which was lovely.
Despite MLS not uploading to Zillow the day it was supposed to.
Yeah.
We still ended up Friday, Saturday, Sunday we had a final offer.
And what's even better is we sold it to a family that had kids who needed the space that our house and our land had. They had a business. They wanted the space for their business. There's enough room for all the kids to have their own rooms, which was lovely because they didn't have that before. So I was happy we sold it to who we sold it to. I know most people were like, sell it for whoever offers the most. But honestly, if there had been somebody who offered a little bit more but didn't have the family and wanted to like gut it or tear it down, we wouldn't have sold it to them.
But sometimes, you know, these stories that they tell you, it became like it's common practice for everybody to write a letter about why they had to have the house. And they weren't always true.
True.
They weren't
You
always
can say
true.
anything you want on paper.
So,
but we decided to move. We sold the house, moved to an apartment for a year, and the plan was at the end of 7th grade, if she liked it, we'd stay. If she hated it, we would go. She says she likes it because she likes her friends, her school, the different freedoms that she gets here that she could not have back where we were from, because way too many people, way too much crime, not safe, it just wasn't an option. So here, we spend way more time together here because we have way more outdoor activities to do with each other. We have way more places to go and just sit and chill and look at something beautiful than we had back in Georgia.
I asked Alyssa the other day, what would we be doing? And you know, Saturday, we were on the water. What would we be doing in Georgia if we were back there?
Her response is probably, I don't know, sitting around watching movies or playing
She's
on the
like, I
computer.
think she said like go to the mall.
Oh yeah.
And then be at Ronnie's house.
Yeah, that's true. Which is still a good thing, hanging out with family, obviously, but the ability to go get on a boat, to go sit at the beach, to go down to the pool of the apartment, to meet up with friends and just chill outside. I don't know. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love it.
I think it's important that I just tell you all the truth. Now, number one, not all of Florida is the same, in my opinion, and B, well, not everyone who has moved to this domestic vacation and retiree paradise have regret their decision. And we are no exception either. We absolutely love it here and can't think of anywhere else in the U.S. that we would prefer to live and call home. Don't let my opinion sway you. Let's take a look at the numbers. So from July of 2021 to July of 2022, Florida's population grew to over 22 million people. And that was almost a 2% increase, which was the largest of any U.S. state over that period, having just exceeded Idaho and South Carolina, which saw their populations grow by 1.8 and 1.7% respectively. And another two states that come to mind and are often included in conversation when talking about moving to Florida are none other than California and New York. And for good reason, because according to IRS data, New York and California lost over $90 billion in income to low-tax states during the pandemic, only further accelerating the trend of high earners relocating to lower-tax states like Florida, producing income losses for California and New York that were 3 times their combined losses in 2021 before the pandemic took hold when compared to 2019. And experts say that while the income migration from states likely slowed in 2022 and 2023 from the pandemic highs, higher tax states will continue to see outflows of high earners, thanks in part to remote work and white-collar job growth in the Sun Belt. But for some, that relocation to Florida not only brought warmer temps and darker tan lines, but it also came with some regret for their decision. And many have ultimately decided to pack it all back up and move out and ditch the Sunshine State for good. And the reason or reasons being might just shock you to find out. For now, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And drop a comment down below. Are you a Florida resident or thinking of becoming one? Or maybe recently just left Florida and don't plan on coming back? Share your story in the comments below. And whether you love it or hate it here, tell us all why. Is it the Bears? All right, I'm just playing. Maybe it's not the Bears. But honestly, I didn't think bears when I thought Florida, but besides there being a heavy population of black bears in and around Eglin Air Force Base, they are now showing up on the beaches and taking dips in the Gulf of Mexico and relaxing in the dunes. Don't the bears know to keep off the dunes? Jeez. But seriously, the reason so many people are leaving Florida in their rear view is because of 3 main reasons: severe weather, low wages, and the loss of the vacation feeling being the main pain points that have discouraged some newcomers from taking up permanent residency and getting one of those cool new looking license plates. I heard a story about a woman named Kim, a young 51-something-year-old who said that she left Florida only 5 months after moving here in May of 2021 because of high housing costs and the stifling heat, among other factors.
Now let's talk
It's
about
red down here. The flag was yellow at the other end when we first started this. It was yellow. Down here it's red.
Now let's talk about the housing market. So if it's a black flag, that means there's bears in the water.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Unless it's a polar bear and there's a white flag?
So purple means venomous, and then they have a black flag, it means bears.
Yep. There's no blue flag for sharks though. I
So
didn't even tell you if they're sharks. You're just like, you're gonna find out one way.
they play the music.
Dun-dun. Dun-dun.
So think
He
about
got it easy. Look, he's like, I'm just gonna ride on this cart.
2021. We sold. When did we sell? 22.
22, May 22.
We sold in 22. But 21 in Florida, interest rates were still crazy low. Prices were still up. Everybody thought this music was never going to stop. And that would have been a crazy time to try to buy in Florida.
Carrying your drink.
That would have been a crazy time to try to buy in Florida. And if you didn't plan on staying for a very long time, a dangerous time to buy. Because you're going to be buying it, you would have ultimately been buying at the top.
So that house that we walked, I think you put it up, the house that we walked, the $998,000 one, an Emerald something or other, they bought that one in 2021. Flipped it.
Oh, no. They renovated it.
They renovated it.
You don't flip it until you sell it.
Oh yeah, they renovated it, put it back up for like, they bought it for 6 something. No, 8 something. They bought it for 8 something.
No, 6 something.
Maybe.
6 something.
6 something. Okay, they bought it for 6 something.
Like 650.
Renovated it, put it up for 1.4.
Yeah.
And now they're at 998, and I'm like, listen, I'd only pay 750 for it. If it was 750, I'd find a way to make it happen. I like the interior of that house.
Look, we're here, and I love you, but I'm never gonna buy another house again just because you want it.
No, I understand.
Because that does not work out.
The
You
last
gotta
one
buy a
was
house
great.
because it's worth buying.
Yes.
And it's not like the last one wasn't worth buying, but you gotta know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
And
well,
that
the
house,
first time we had land.
that house that we walked,
No.
I can see all the problems already that
Yeah.
they just slap paint on top of.
Lipstick on the pig.
Been down that road before.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and that's what they
There's
want to
the
do.
Jeep.
They want to wow you with these, neutral colors and new
New floors and new
finishes
countertops.
great pictures and things like that. But
It's like
no.
yes, but there's still wood rot behind the paint, and there's still electrical issues. There's still.
I am not going to own a home in Florida with a shingle roof on it. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. And don't try to tell me that because it's got a new roof that I should be, excited about that.
Yeah, because I'd be like, I'm gonna need you to make it a new metal roof. Thank you so much.
But I don't think there's a lot of metal in that neighborhood. It's mostly clay tile.
Let's say, I wonder if it's an HOA thing.
But either way, the housing market in Florida 2021 was much like the rest of the country, was crazy. But I think the housing market today is kind of strange because when I say housing market, I mean house. Here we are primarily condo.
Yeah, that's true.
And condos, you just pulled up one that you sent me a screenshot of today.
That was a house.
Oh, that was a house?
That was a house that I had looked at when it first came on the market because it had a lot of space on the inside. Like it had a 2-story, whatever. And I was like, this is nice, but it's not very beachy to me. But they had a little yard that Max could run around in, and the kitchen was nice.
Yeah, and your little dog.
And it was
too.
$877,000. And I was like, that's overpriced. That was in December of last year. Well, it sold last week for $675,000. $202,000 cheaper in 6 months.
Well,
Oh, originally they had it listed at $975,000 if you wanted it fully furnished.
so here's the deal. No matter what your listing price, no matter what your asking price is, the market is always right. The market is always right, okay? Now here's the problem with listing too high. And that is that if you go too high,
Too high.
you may not get any offers. Because some potential buyers and some agents may be reluctant to potentially offend sellers with a lower than asking offer. But me personally, I take no offense. It's not personal. And if you're smart, you look at it as the beginning of the ability to have negotiation. A house ain't gonna buy itself. Would you rather have an offer, or would you rather have no offers?
You would have $4.
Would you rather have an offer, or would you rather have no offers?
I'd rather have a starting point to negotiate than nothing. You can't have a conversation if somebody didn't speak first. That's pretty much how that works.
You can't have a video together if someone walks faster than you.
Oh, well, I'm trying, but she's trying to step on me.
And the market is always right. Now, I don't know the details of this house, but it was obviously
I just didn't want us to get run over.
It was obviously priced too high and more than likely needed work. Probably in addition to the sellers being extremely motivated due to this liquidity crisis and insolvency nightmare that is being compounded based on the extremely high and insane living cost of living crisis that we are experiencing, that based on the research that we have done is just getting started and only going to get worse. So I got to flip this around because this an exorcist, but it's not.
You talking about the Camaro?
It's a ZL1 1LE.
Yeah.
But with my coasters on, it just looks like super dark
Yeah.
and menacing.
Yeah.
And it looks like a exorcist, but
It's not.
it's just a beautiful car.
Yeah.
But either way, the market's always right.
Oh, he's cammed.
He is cam.
He is cammed.
He is cam.
I prefer the 5th gen cam over the 6th gen non-cam.
It needs more low. He needs more low.
Yeah,
But
he
either way,
does. And a car wash.
we are at the beginning of the warning signs by Goldman Sachs and Chase, Jamie Dimon. This is a turning point. But what it's going to do is it's going to open up opportunity because of forced liquidations, forced sales. People have to get out of the debt that they owe. They have to try to get liquid for other bills they need to pay, or relocation and downsizing due to changes in employment or whatever it may be. And at the end of the day, the market's always right. And like I said, I think that we're probably going to see the real estate crash start with commercial corporate real estate.
I was just thinking, I wonder if residential stuff, when you go in to do these negotiations, if you're talking the price down and they're gonna have to do, well, it's as is. I can't sell it for so much cheaper and put money in to fix it up for you at the same time.
You know, the other thing is we don't know the full details of the closing, and that lower price could have included some other incentive. So, you know, from the outside looking in, it's a $200,000 price drop, but however they structured the deal, who knows?
True, very
Who
true.
knows?
And this was at a time when the median home value in Florida had risen 22% over the prior year, according to Zillow data, when compared to a 12% nationwide increase over the same period. But I mean, it's Zillow, so take that for what it's worth. But Kim said at first it still felt like that vacation feeling, but as reality sinks in that you're actually living there, that wears off. Living there is just such a completely different planet. Now, I wonder what part of Florida exactly Kim moved to and lived in. And I also wonder what her family dynamic looked like, as well as her work and her employment situation. I think these are going to have a huge impact in determination of whether or not Florida feels like a vacation or not. And I even heard that the Miami real estate agent Michael Bordenero said that 40 to 50% of his clients who are new to the state move out within a few years after having only realized that life is no vacation. Well, for some, and that so many people come for a week or two on vacation and they think that their life is going to be like that every single day. But that newness feeling can wear off quickly, as we can see from the nearly 14,000 member Facebook group for people moving out of Florida, which has cited severe weather, low wages, crowded beaches, changing politics, and steep housing prices as reasons people left.
And that is the reason behind why people are leaving Florida, for the strangest reasons. The weather.
Yeah.
But additionally, the weather, low wages, the housing prices that we already discussed, job opportunities. And they say it's too hot.
Oh, I was going to say, is it really even the weather, or is it the possibility of the weather and the lack of homeowners insurance because of the companies pulling out? I thought you were going to say because of hurricanes and stuff. And a lot of people are leaving not because of hurricanes, but because of the potential of hurricanes with the lack of homeowners insurance.
You know, some are struggling to have insurance, others are struggling to pay for homeowners insurance as it is getting increasingly more expensive, unaffordable, driving folks out. And then you got to realize, as a seller, you have to then adjust your price based on that. Your price is going to be based on their affordability, which includes interest rates and down payments, down payment assistance, insurance, everything. It's like, hey, I'd love to buy this house, but I can't afford $20,000 a year on homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
So we plan on living here for 5 years. Can you knock 80 grand off the price to help offset, you know, $100,000 worth of homeowners insurance?
I wonder how many people think of that. How many people that would occur to, or if they would just look at it and go, I can't. You know what I mean? There's too many. I think there's a lot of people who don't know how to think outside of the normal.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if your real estate
settings.
agent, if your real estate professional is not thinking like that for you,
They're not a real estate professional.
if they're not advocating for you and your best interest, that as a buyer and or seller, then fire them.
I hear sirens.
Just fire them. The
On the
sirens
beach,
are probably on the
sirens.
beach.
I was about to say, on the beach. I wonder if they're trying to get people to move out
Maybe.
because it's getting dark and extra windy
Dark,
over there.
real windy,
Yeah.
red flag. Last but
They're
not
pulling
least, the
everybody out.
political aspect of why people will be leaving Florida. And we're not going to go into great detail, but that is a consideration of whether or not you would want to come to Florida or possibly leave Florida.
True.
Which,
Well, the current one, and then if somebody that's the current governor were to somehow become the president,
Well, yeah,
who would
you
the
have
next
to-
governor be?
yeah, you got to think who's next.
Yeah.
But these are all factors and considerations for deciding ultimately whether you're going to stay in Florida, leave Florida, or even move to Florida.
Hey, put that in there. Hey, this is kind of cool. Bike repair station. You don't see that very often in places, but because there is such a high bike community and so many bike rentals, it's literally like every little thing you should need to repair little parts of your bike.
It's pretty cool.
It's kind of neat.
Just make sure your bike brakes right here.
Or remember where it's at so you can heft it over your shoulder and hike it over to the bike repair.
Yeah, just make sure your bike brakes right here. It's always interesting. You can tell the locals from the tourists. The locals are pleasant.
Yes, the tourists are like,
That guy looked like Ginger Billy though. Well, that concludes our trip today to the beach. I don't know where the sirens are coming from because everybody is still
no,
out
they're all
in the water.
But I feel like they're coming in. I think maybe that was the come in siren,
Or like get closer to
farther,
shore.
yeah, closer to shore maybe.
Maybe.
Because the siren should be moving that direction. Because there's nobody down there now. They've all kind of come into the
okay.
front. So I think that's the thing. They're working their way in.
Yeah, but they'll be back.
Yeah, that's true.
They'll slowly migrate back out. They
As
were
soon
in
as the siren's
bathroom.
gone, they'll go
They
back.
didn't know. They didn't hear. Just like watching the people playing with the bear
Yeah,
in the water as it was coming out. Like they're just like throw caution to the wind.
yeah.
Y'all be careful out there.
Throw your child to a bear.
Now, our work-life balance is a little bit different than most, so living in Florida works out very well for us, and hopefully for you guys too, as we get to bring you great videos and beautiful scenery in the videos that we record and upload here on YouTube and on Patreon. And we are always welcome to host friends and family who are always happy to come down and visit us to soak up the sun, enjoy the great food, the weather, beautiful beaches, and fun on the water, hanging out at Crab Island, Noriego Point, Destin Harbor, or out in the bay or the Gulf aboard one of the many boats that we have access to as members of Freedom Boat Club. In fact, we have some friends coming down in a couple, 3 weeks to visit from Nashville, Tennessee. And I can't say that I blame them because, I mean, I actually really like Nashville and I enjoy visiting and hanging out in the city, but there's nothing quite like Florida living. I read that a woman lived in Florida for her entire life until moving to Tennessee last year, mainly in search of higher wage earning opportunities and lower living expenses as her main reasons behind the move. And granted, you can potentially find a far more affordable cost of living in Tennessee, depending on where you choose to live in that state, much like with almost any other state, but there tends to be a trade-off and compromise on higher income earning potential, or at least the proximity to it, inversely related to how far out into the country you move to find cheap land and lower home prices per square foot. And just like in Florida, Tennessee has its challenges too, and in the more expensive parts, some people will tell you that there's just no way for people living there to afford it. The salaries that they pay here don't add up to the cost of rent. Last year, Florida was a champion and crowned the title of the least affordable state in the country, while simultaneously ranking exceptionally poorly on a 2019 jobless study that compared wages to cost of living and ranked Florida last out of all 50 states in terms of affordability. But with the possibility of remote work, maybe that data may be a little bit skewed, because you could live in Florida and work pretty much anywhere else in the world and be able to earn a substantial income. And while Florida doesn't have an income tax, many new home buyers will face rising property tax bills and steep homeowners insurance premiums. And don't get me started on condo owners or oceanfront property and the exuberant HOA fees, assessments, and newly upped financial reserve requirements on top of maintenance and repair costs for new roofs and other expensive and shocking bills that owners are being hit with left and right. And besides the high prices and insane cost of living, one ex-Floridian said the main reason he left Florida and headed up I-85, I-95 to North Carolina was because of the heat and blazing hot temps. And he said, and I quote, "My mental health started declining from being stuck indoors almost 10 months out of the year," end quote. I mean, it does and or can get hot here, but there are remedies for these situations. And they come in 12-ounce cans or are poured on draft and can be consumed poolside or while submerged in water. And yet still, there are still upwards of 1,400 people moving to Florida per day, according to my good friend Chris Igo. Now, Chris is a top realtor and real estate professional in Boynton Beach, Florida, and a fellow YouTuber and content creator. He came here to visit us last week, and we had some insightful conversations about the Florida housing market, real estate, and overall economy, while just in general having a blast hanging out together. And the simple fact is that there are various reasons why people are moving to Florida, and maybe the most common one includes warm weather, affordable cost of living in comparison to more expensive parts of the country and other states like California and New York, and job opportunities depending on your field and expertise, or possibly even military rank and post. Additionally, many people are reevaluating their living situations and considering moving to the areas with more space and outdoor activities as well. I mean, I still haven't forgotten the days of social distancing and sheltering in place. So Florida has always had an easy upsell for me and my family. However, if you're considering switching up your zip code, there are a few things you need to know before moving to Florida. So researching the area that you plan to live in is essential, and ensure you consider factors such as the average cost of living, job opportunities, and potential natural disasters. You should also be aware of Florida's unique laws and regulations, such as its lack of state income tax and strict building codes for hurricane resistance. And because Florida is known for its hurricane season, which runs from June to November, and there are many areas that are at risk for hurricanes. Some cities like Miami have been hit harder than others in the past, but the whole peninsula faces the same risk pretty much for the most part, and it's essential to be prepared and have a plan in case of a hurricane. And always check the weather, and don't delay to evacuate when the alerts are posted and authorities warn. Some of the cheapest places to move in Florida include Ocala, Lakeland, and Leesburg. These areas offer affordable housing options and a lower living cost index than larger cities like Miami and Orlando. But buyer beware, highly desirable properties tend to sell quickly in Florida. The city features warm weather, a strong economy, and affordable cost of living for some, plus beautiful beaches, rich culture, and excellent educational and healthcare options depending. So you'll want to check out the available properties and sign up to get alerts of new property listings when they come out on the market so that you'll be the first to know and able to act fast. Don't skip over taking the time to research and understand why people are moving to Florida yourself. And with this knowledge, you'll see that Florida offers many reasons to consider moving to the Sunshine State and finding the perfect Florida home for you and your family. Now, we are actively searching ourselves and know that there's so much to love here in Florida that makes it such a great and wonderful place for our family. And who knows, maybe we just might end up being neighbors or bumping into each other out on Crab Island. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got a lot of information and valuable education and updates out of this content. If you would, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to check out the free links in the description down below, as well as hit us up on Patreon, where my wife, Michelle, SquirrelTribe, and I are uploading even more content that we'll never post to YouTube, and allowing you guys the ability to connect with us directly on live chats, live stream live chats that are exclusive to Patreon members only. It's getting hot out here, guys. I gotta go ahead and jump in this pool and get me a cool beverage. But until next time, you guys take care, be safe. I'll see you real soon. Bye. Oh, we found out where the sirens came from.
There's more past them.
It's a tight little area to need emergency services in. Maybe there's a cat stuck in a tree or something. Well, if she gets hit, at least emergency services are already here.
They slow rolled like they were going to stop for her, and then...
I mean, she's not really in a crosswalk.